What up? Welcome to your morning drip. I am your host, Ronan Rock, with another fantastic episode of Portland's dopest morning show. And we have a special guest in the house, Sean Wynn in the house.
Yo, good morning, everybody.
Yeah. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
This is all crazy. Once again, just throw this right in front of your face because sometimes this mic can be a little finicky.
Like this.
Mic voice. Yeah. But yeah, so dude, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, and a beautiful setup, by the way.
Oh, thank you. We haven't even done all the nerdy stuff because we've had different backgrounds of nerdiness. I know that everyone's weirded out when we have the Darth Vader and the Sith Trooper hip hop, whatever you want to call them, in here, and we used to have like all these toys and everything else. And
oh, you'll get there though. I mean, I can see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got a lot.
Yeah.
We got a lot. But yeah, dude, I'm so happy to have you on. One, because you are our first Patreon sponsor of the show, which thank you for that. People don't understand how these things work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You got to support what you love.
And then also the other great part of it is me and you've known each other forever.
Yeah.
From us thinking that we are the doppelgangers of each other. Because for those who don't know, my name is also Sean, but I spell it S-H.
Right.
And then both of our last names starting with W.
Yep.
We're both from Chicago.
Correct.
We're both nerdy as all hell.
Absolutely.
And we happen to have both have dreadlocks and be black in Portland.
Oh, wait, I didn't know that.
Yo, dude, I know it. I told you this wasn't a gotcha show. Gotcha. You black.
Oh no.
Dude, first off, before we get into anything, have you seen Ant-Man yet?
Actually, I went to see it Friday.
All right.
Yeah.
What are your non-spoiler review of it?
Jonathan Majors is dope. They really nailed Kang, in my opinion. Okay. That costume was on point.
That costume was on super point, and how they did the scars and did the blue face and everything else, I was like, correct.
It is a visually beautiful, stunning movie for sure. Mm-hmm. The plot is very Ant-Man. You know, some parts you take serious, some parts you just laugh your butt off at. You know. But yeah, I think it's enjoyable as long as you go into it with the mindset you're just about to watch an Ant-Man movie and not like Schindler's List. I get so tired of people like going ready to a Marvel movie to critique it on a certain level. It's like, just eat your popcorn and watch the people shoot each other. Yes. Okay, just that's it.
My only thing with this Ant-Man movie, because I got to say, when the first Ant-Man movie came out, I was like, this is the breath of fresh air for Marvel. Yeah. This is a solid movie. Ant-Man 2 came out, I was like, you know what? This is a continuation of the feeling of the first movie. Yep. Love it. When the third one came out, I was like, you kind of tricked me, and I only say it in this way. It's different from the first two movies. Of course, something has to beep on my computer. You tricked me in the sense of the first two movies felt like X within it being based in this plane of existence.
Right.
This is a little bit of a trick, but you got Jonathan Majors in here, and I love Lovecraft, so I'm just gonna pretend like this is Lovecraft Part 2 and just take it.
Yeah, exactly. And also, like, you know, I got to give props to Paul Rudd, man. Like, I can't say that I love everything he's ever done, but you don't hate the guy. It's really hard to hate that dude.
No, and the thing that I was very happy about within the Ant-Man series is that it was so different from the other Marvel movies. It was a caper movie. It was like, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was that style, and I was happy about it.
He had a great supporting cast.
Great supporting cast. Everybody in there, even like how they handled like the Pym particles and how they talked about all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm like, I don't care if it makes sense or not. It made enough, and it fit within the story. Like, his relationship with his daughter, amazing throughout the series. And I'm like, I feel this every time that you talk about it, because I'm like, you know what? I don't spend enough time with my kid. I need to just go home and just hold this little dude for a second. But no, I was cool with it. I think the thing that kind of messed it up, and I feel like this is a thing that's happening now, maybe you can speak on it real quick, is that now that we have like YouTube and there's like about 30 million shows that talk about a movie before it comes out, it can ruin a movie because it gives you all these different expectations, and then you learn like in-depth storylines or characters that haven't been told like in the last 20 years. And it's like, well, in recent history, you know, this happened, so you know, Ant-Man's gonna die in the movie, and this character's gonna die in the movie, and Kang's gonna do this in the movie, and it's gonna make in this new universe, and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait. And then you get to the movie theater and it's like, none of that
stuff's happening. I mean, it's to the point now where I don't even watch the trailers because they give away so much. Like, prime
give you
example,
the first two trailers, I'll watch. All the trailers after that,
I watched the first one, and then after that, you know, like, okay, so look at like the Guardians trailer just hit, right? There's a scene at the end of it where somebody's carrying Peter's body.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, well, what does that mean? Is he gonna die? And like, I know why you're doing that, but I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, and then, you know, now they do these trailers that like they'll be fake, and it'll be like, hey, yo, the Hulk's in it. Hulk ain't in it. Hey, this person's got this weapon. Don't got that weapon. And I'm just like, at the end of it's like, oh, yo, Thor had an eye patch. Doesn't have an eye patch. I'm like, yo, man, I don't want to know. They're deceptive. It makes me feel a certain way. All these tweets and rumors about stuff going on.
One of the things that my wife pointed out about Ant-Man, though, that I appreciate was
no, this is not your wife. I thought your wife was watching on YouTube because there's already people commenting.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, word up. Well, one of the things my wife pointed out was that with the Ant-Man franchise, what she really appreciates is that everybody involved has an equal power dynamic. So whether it be, you know, Michael Douglas or Paul Rudd or, you know, the Wasp or the Mob, all of them had their moments in this movie. And it just felt like an equal family footing power thing. And it was really nice.
Yeah. Dude. All right. So, Sean, before we get into anything else, because everyone keeps, I'm guessing everyone's going to be like, yo, who the hell is this individual? And we're already talking about nerdy stuff, and we're going to probably get into way more nerdy stuff.
Absolutely.
Tell the people who you are, what you do, where you're from.
All right. So, I'm Sean Wynn.
You're talking that mic because you already...
Oh, my bad. Yep. I'm Sean Wynn. Basically, I'm a professional nerd. Have been for like the last 12 years. As Kevin said, Chicago native, moved to Portland. My first job when I got here was working at Things from Another World in Darkhorse, which is how I met him because I used to sell him comics a lot.
Yes.
But yeah, I did about 8 years at Darkhorse and left them after a while and started my own company, which I run now, called Strange Solutions Marketing and Consulting. So still in the nerd business because we predominantly focus on helping individual creators and publishers get their products out into the world or handle their social media, marketing campaigns, things like that, but only nerd business or pop culture business. So I've worked with pretty much every publisher at this point, and a lot of I guess you would say big name creators, but I like to work with independent people, especially, and I'm just going to say it, I like to work with marginalized groups and creators.
Yeah.
That's my focus. That's why I started the company, to make sure that their stuff gets out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this show's all about, is taking, you know, people within the like-minded communities to be like, hey, we want to showcase you, show that you're pillars of the community, introduce people within our community being like, hey, maybe you don't know who some of these dope people are within Portland or within Oregon. Like, this is Sean Wynn. If you're into X, Y, and Z stuff, this is the person to know, like, especially of a person of color, like, within this space. Like, because sometimes for a lot of people that move, that are transplants to Portland like ourselves, it can be very lonely, and it can take a while to find your community.
Honestly, it took me that whole 8 years while I was at the comic company to like really find my people.
Yeah.
And it was a struggle. But, you know, I'm doing a lot better now these days. And since, you know, because of people like you that encouraged me and kind of showed me the ropes.
I like how he said show them ropes. He showed me the ropes.
Well, we helped each other.
Yes.
You know, but I'm able to be involved more with the community. So like one of my recent endeavors is I'm now on the board of the Northwest Museum of Cartoon Arts. And that is a nonprofit organization that I'm part of, that we're trying to build a physical museum to show Portland's rich history in comics and cartooning, because like there's a lot here.
There's a lot. Some like a handful of my favorite comic books within going into things like I didn't realize were made here. Yeah. Like Lazarus is made here, and I was just like, wait. They're like, yeah, they're like basically down the block from the Portland store. They're right over here, and I was just like, no, can I knock on their door? No. Is that a thing I can do? No, you can't. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be that person.
No, I mean, yeah, that was one of the things I found out after I moved here. It was really weird that there was so many comic writers and artists that lived here in Portland, and I was like, is there something in the water? Like, what don't I know? Why are they moving here, or why do they live here? But
it used to be because it was cheap to live here, and it was a good living based on your income.
Yeah, that's not
a thing anymore.
No.
Remember, I just always love to remind people. I was like, yo, there was a point that I lived in Portland, and I basically lived off of 23rd and Burnside, and I was paying less than $800 a month in rent, and I had in my share of the rent. Okay. And I had a roommate, and we had 2 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms, fireplace, dishwasher, all new appliances, a patio in the front, patio in the back, backyard, and a 3-car garage. And I was like, we were paying less than $2,000 a month. We were paying less than $1,500 a month. And yeah.
You'd be lucky to get a studio for that.
Dude, I was just like, and that was a fine, but that wasn't the fine.
No, I mean, but like there's a lot of that that just doesn't exist now. Yeah, I've been looking at the prices too, because I moved around a little bit, and I can't help but thinking like, this is like more than Chicago prices.
Oh, dude, some of the stuff is more in New York. Yeah, like it's bad. And all right, I have a theory within Portland and its rent population, how it goes.
Okay, hit me.
So there's a people of minority, usually black, live in a neighborhood. And then eventually they decide to build some kind of new hospital or some kind of new major facility. Right. And so then they move out all of the people of color. And then they're like, you know what? What really is going on here? We don't need all this space. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring all the artists in. And it's all the different kinds of artists or whatever else. So it's a lot of studio apartments, a lot of studios in general that they'll start to develop in areas where they're like, hey, yo, we had a bunch of houses. Now we're going to rent these houses out. We're going to make 3 people live in them. We're going to sit up here and make this other space that was the rec center or whatever else. Now it's going to be a work share space. And they do that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
And then they do that for a while, just enough where everyone's like, oh, this is the hip new area. This feels like San Francisco. This is amazing. And then you have all the rich white people start to move in, but they don't just move in. They start tearing down houses, and then they start making those $1 million weird looking Iron Man Stark complexes that you're like, this does not fit the dynamic of this neighborhood at all. But they start building those. They're $1 million, and then everyone's trying to get in there. And then it becomes like, yo, word, I used to live in this neighborhood. I spent $1,200 in rent, and it was great. And now my rent has gone up, doubled, and my neighbor next door has $1 million house.
Yeah. Or the other thing, too, is like you start the latest trend in the last, I want to say 3 years, is these giant residential buildings with storefronts at the bottom, right?
Yep.
But nobody's moving into those storefronts.
No one.
There are no businesses moving in there. And, I can't help but think, like, even if you do open up a store there, the only person that can afford to live in that building would be the owner. Because none of the employees can afford to live in there. They're not going to pay them enough for that. But honestly, there's not enough new business moving here to justify that.
And it's weird because the old businesses that were here that are like trying to hang on, either one, can't afford to get into the new spaces.
Nope.
And then because they've built these new spaces, there's something that's happened in their building where something doesn't work anymore. Like in the sense of like, oh, the water's all messed up, or the parking that was adjacent to our building that everyone used is now gone.
The parking.
Dude, and this is my favorite thing is like, hey, we're going to have 19 million bus systems, and we're going to close down all the streets that were through streets in the neighborhoods that everyone would use to, like, hey, I know I'm not going to take MLK because the traffic's going to be crazy. I'm going to take Vancouver. I'm going to take whatever to get down. Oh, now it's a bus lane and a bike lane and a car lane. And they're going to shift back and forth, that no one's going to be able to just drive down this as regular traffic. So my used to be 3 car lanes of traffic going past my storefront every day is gone.
Absolutely, yeah.
And everyone's stuck in traffic, and no one's
furious,
not wanting to come in our neighborhood anymore.
Pretty much. Oh, speaking of which, like, so going back to,
you can tell we're old and from Portland,
right? Finding my people. So, like, you know, I remember around the time when I first got here, I went over to the Northeast side because I was like, yo, that's where my people are at, right? That's what I heard. And I got over there too late because they had already been gentrified. And so I'm walking down the street and I'm looking at this record shop and I'm like, yo, okay, cool, record shop. Get some records. I want to check something else out. And there's this like rec center. And in the window is this sign that says Urban Head Wrap Class. And I was like, oh, this ain't our neighborhood. Because none of us would ever call that Urban Head Wrap Class.
Oh.
Nor do we need a whole class on it. But anyway.
No, you just go to, you know, such and such sister that sits up here and does hair.
Right. I was like, okay, I see what's happening here.
Oh, man. It's so hard because some of the things that happen that people don't get, it's like nothing in Portland. And let me phrase that. Nothing new in Portland is blackety black from Portland's history.
No.
It's like those things that were like the Genevas, the different spots that people went to in Woodlawn or in Lloyd Center or whatever else that were like a part of the community forever. They don't exist anymore. And now we have a lot of transplants trying to make those things because we don't have those things here. And we miss them from wherever we came from. And it turns into this weird fight between old Portland and new Portland and the black community where it's like, you know, we used to have this before y'all moved in. It was like, wasn't us. It was the white people.
I'm glad you said that.
So they took that away, not us. Because it's like, I think about it. I can remember there used to be a black record store that was off of like MLK, or no, not MLK, but off of Killingsworth way back in the day. And I'm like, I know that doesn't exist anymore. And I think about the record stores that are still here. And it's like, yo, no shame to them. Like Clinton Street Records, our boy owns. And there's different ones, but I'm like, where's the record shop that I go to that has the black owner that I have this like certain connection with,
right? That
I get to enjoy, or at least like has X amount of black employees or a part of this community that I get to enjoy. All the record shops are certain things that I want.
The one that you can go to and be like, I don't know what I'm looking for, but it sounds like this.
Yeah.
And they'll go, oh, it's this.
Oh, so it's like, sorry, sir, I speak rhythm. Yes, you can just sit up here and make the noises of the record. I know what you're talking about.
That one track that had this one guy on it this one time.
Mm-hmm. Dude.
So
I also got to say, and this is a weird thing to say, but so because you read things from another world, at one point I lived off of Mississippi, and I loved Bridge City comic books. And the owner there was amazing. I literally could walk a block and a half and be there. I would drive all the way to Milwaukee, at least hour-long just trip in the sense of the drive to go buy comic books from you. And my favorite thing is if you weren't there, I was pissed. I was like, yo, I can't go on this day because this is the day that Sean has off. Yep. I'm like, this is new comic book day, so he has to be there. And it'd be every now and then, like, you know, you would have a vacation, a day off, or maybe you were sick. I'm like, this ain't here.
Yeah. I appreciate that, because honestly, I miss those days because I'm very passionate about selling comic books, and not because of sales. I'm passionate about getting the books into people's hands that I know that they will love.
And you did a really good job of that. I'm just damn near like, yo, can we just get you a podcast? Can we get you a show or a thing where it's just like once a week? Hey, Sean's 5 picks. These are what you need to read. Here's a little background history of it. 10 minutes tops, once a week. There you go. And I'd be like, yo, that's my fix.
Honestly, I would do that in a heartbeat if I had the time. I have been pitching to myself in my head a show called, because my AKA is Sirius Black. And so I have a show in mind called Sirius Slack with Sirius Black, where I just talk about.
I can tell you do music.
I do, yeah. I also do music. We'll talk about that too.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just want to get on, get interviews with creators to talk about what it is they do when they're not making comics.
Yes.
You know, to get to them as a person, but also pitch their works that I like as well. You know, so that's my idea. Hopefully one day I can do that. For now, I have resorted to a fourth Instagram profile.
Wow.
Called Serious Reads.
Okay.
Where I just make little posts about the books that I own in my collection, about why I own them, what the synopsis is, who the creators are, and like, you know, who will like it. So,
Serious Reads?
Yeah, CERIUSREADS. Serious Reads.
You spelled that so quickly that I definitely heard all of it, and I have it down. Oh wow, there's an embarrassing picture of our homie Mad Chill that I'm just gonna put up there. Ooh. Look at him cheesing. I'm gonna hear about this after the show, and I'm sorry.
I had nothing to do with that.
Nothing to do with that whatsoever.
The best part about it is that I put it in picture just for you.
Just for me. Why can't I spell serious right now?
CERIUS
READS. READS.
It'd be funny if I got my own Instagram name wrong.
Why am I? Let's just bring this up. I'm sorry, your picture's still up there. How am I spelling this wrong? Right over here in the corner.
Oh, you got an E there instead. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. There it is. Oh, Sirius Black, Sirius Reads. Yeah, that's me.
Also, all right. This is one of my favorite things about you is that you're so respected within the community of like nerdom and comics that like you get people to do dope stuff like this for you all the time. Like I remember coming in the things and being like, yo, like there was a figurine of you on the front desk, and I was just like, yo, people do this, and then you're just like, yeah, my boy did this, and and I was just like.
Actually, he has a new version. He's made a different custom action figure of me, and I kid you not, he won't give it to me. It's for him now.
Yeah,
but it's me from one of my shows, and the microphone is spitting fire. And I'm like, I can't have that for real. Like,
you can't make two,
right?
Like, what you need some more fodder.
He's taught me to make my own, so I'm working on it.
Dude, yeah, I saw it because you've done a couple of posts where you're sitting up here kit bashing, making stuff, and it's dope.
Yeah.
First off, that's dope. How many comic books have you been in now?
Two. That one is from The Mask. I Pledge Allegiance to the Mask, where I was cast as the villain of the book, like basically an evil CEO bastard.
Okay.
And that is, I mean, spoiler. Sorry, it's been out for a couple years now, but that is me getting my head cut off by the mask. And I don't mean the like the mask the guy wearing it, like the mask itself flew through my neck. So, but yeah, I was in.
I like how you say spoiler, and it's literally the picture of you getting decapitated.
I mean, well, you know,
yeah, it's good.
But yeah, I was in all 4 issues of that. And then I just it started off as a joke, but I probably have about 14 different depictions of my face from different comic artists. You know, I just started. I asked for one, and then it became a thing. And,
it should be.
Yeah.
You are a great character within stuff that I just want to constantly happen.
Hey, if anybody else, if any other comic artists want to kill me in books, I'm all for it.
All right, dude.
So yeah, I just post up a lot of like reels or things that I own. These are all things that I own, by the way. Things that I try to highlight, and I do a lot of Kickstarters. I back a lot of Kickstarters, man.
Oh yeah,
because that is where a lot of our great stuff can be found. You know, I don't think a lot of people realize that. They're not. A lot of people get stuck on shopping at the big two, you know, as they call it, Marvel and DC, and like, yes, there's some representation there. Yeah, you know, we've got our Black Panthers and our Monica Rambeaus, and you know, Cyborg, and you know. Stuff like that, but like most of this stuff it came from like Kickstarter,
which
Like, shout out to my boy Greg Ellisay, who does It's Not a Wear Spider. He's on his recent Kickstarter is about to end soon.
Okay.
But it's like one of the dopest things I've purchased in the last couple of years, and I'm going to make sure you get it.
Okay.
But yeah, just stuff like that. There's a lot of independent brothers and sisters out there that's got some good work out there.
I gotta say, it's a thing that's like also within the Kickstarter realm. I like to back things that are smaller within the Kickstarter realm because it's like easier to receive the product. Some people, when they become really big, they become really ambitious within doing stuff. And I remember like some of the Kickstarter campaigns that I did that it was like there was so much stuff that they forgot to put some of the stuff in the package. Like, hey man, we're gonna give you the alternate cover, the holographic cover, the Gatling gun, right. And I was just like, I'm like, yo, this is great. And then I got the package and I was like, this is awesome. And I was like, man, I feel like there's something missing.
Right. Look, you know what? Allow me to do this because this is a rare opportunity. I want to also shout out to Robert Jeffrey from 133 Art Studios. They got a Kickstarter up right now. Mm-hmm. They did the One Nation Comics and Changa and the Jade Obelisk.
Is it on Kickstarter?
Yeah, it's out right now. Actually, I think it just funded. Okay. But I know they always have stuff available. TJ Sterling's out there doing stuff. You got, my homegirl Amber Denise up in Chicago does beautiful artwork. Great paintings.
What was the first one?
133 Art. They're a publisher and art studio, I believe.
I'm trying to look it up right now. Do you see it on here? 133 Art.
I don't see it. No. Try it as in one word, 133, and then art right next to it. Sometimes I do. Yeah, there it is.
Which, this one right here?
No, the first one.
Oh, nope. Yeah. God bless you, Kickstarter.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, you were looking at it at Kickstarter. Gotcha.
All right, 133 Art. And
try that top one right there. That's them. Okay. That's all the stuff they've been putting out.
See, I also love because unlike it, I don't know the best way to say this, but there's a certain look and style from Black artists. It's not all Black artists, but there's definitely a way that it's like represented, or the way that Black people look in comic books from Black artists. Yeah. That is a very dope and unique, and not like it. My best way to prove it and to say it is anime. Anime characters all look a certain way, and other people be like, "Oh, but this person's obviously white," and it's like, no. If you go to people from Asia in any respect, they're like, "No, this person's Korean. This person's Japanese. This person's Laos," and it's like, "Oh, but they have blonde hair," and it's like, yes, there's blonde Japanese people. They dye their hair. And it's like, "Oh, well, this person's super dark skinned. They must be Black." And it's like, no, this is a style that people get super tanned and they look like this, and it's like, but all these people to their community look like them.
Yeah.
And I like when I look at Black comics from Black creators, I'm like, oh, this looks like me. And it doesn't just look like me. It looks like other people from the community without it being like, yo, I got super big lips and I'm drawn. They're like drawn in a certain way. It's like, yo, they can draw us. We can see ourselves in it. And it all looks not uniform in the sense of like all the same, but it all looks like it's from our community. Exactly. And I find it really dope. I'm just looking at some of these pictures up here, and I'm just like, yeah, this reminds me of X, Y, and Z other comic books I read that I know that aren't by these same people, that like still carry across a certain look that makes me proud to look at a Black person in a comic book instead of it looking like an exploitation.
Shout out to Jamal Harley too. I just backed his Kickstarter as well. Second Kickstarter back from him. So I mean, when it comes to my comic book collection, I like to have all the unique, weird stuff anyway. But I definitely want to have like some representation in my personal collection. And so, like, yeah, I back a lot of stuff from our people too. But I back a lot of stuff from the Latin X community, the LGBTQ plus community, whatever I can find. A lot of anthologies.
There's a lot coming from the LGBT community within the comic space now that I didn't realize as much maybe 10 years ago, like when we first met. Like there were sprinklings of it then. There was definitely out there, but like now it feels like when I go to a con, like I see damn near more rainbows than I see Black Power fists.
True. Actually, one of the stores here in because Michael Ring sold Bridge City. It's now Rose City Comics, still a great store. But the store with
the employee bought it.
Yeah. But the store with the best representation in my mind is probably Books with Pictures. Shout out to Katie Pride. She's got like sections for everything.
Dope ass name.
Yeah, it is. It is a dope name. Dope name, dope store, and they got a record store at the bottom. So. Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice little. They just won the Eisner this year.
What's the Eisner?
The Eisner Awards for the comic. For those who don't know, the Eisner Awards are the big comic awards event that happens every year where they award it's like the Oscars for comics. Okay, so our store here in Portland won the best comic book store. So yeah, check that out.
Another thing. What was it that shop called again?
Books with Pictures. God, man, I could do shout outs all day, to be honest. Because this is how I interact with the community, to be honest. Like I have some sort of relationship with every comic shop in Portland because of the fact, that's Katie right there.
Is this off of not Hawthorne?
It was on Belmont, but I forgot the new address, but it should be up there somewhere. Let me see.
Because I swear, all right. So this used to be right next to my old office, and I wanted to go in there forever. In fact, I wanted to take my son there forever for us to be like, hey, our little walk around the neighborhood. Let's go do X, Y, and Z. Go get a juice. Go get, dude. Okay.
Yeah. Also, I feel like every store here in Portland has something different to offer. Like when I was running things, I was the toy guy. Everybody knew I was the toy guy.
Yes.
I sold comics all the time, but I was, I'm big up on toys. But Books with Pictures had the most diversity and things like that. Excalibur Comics, with my homegirl Debbie, that back issue section will keep you in there for hours.
Yes, it will.
I bought my Godzilla versus Charles Barkley in there. So, that happened.
Wow. I remember this.
Yeah.
I remember I loved Excalibur because I fell in love with the Lone Wolf and Cub series that Darkhorse re-brought out. And they had all the issues, and I was only missing X, Y, and Z, and I was just like, oh no, they got, all right, I'm just going to take all these. Let's just put these in the bag. In the bag in the sense to go and purchase. Don't be that kind of person. But no, they were super dope. There's so many dope comic book stores. Even Cosmic Monkey, those guys always had a good back issue.
Andy and them,
and kept stuff relevant in there. There's a new series. I don't have the first 2 issues of this. I caught on late. Oh, word, they got it, and I was just like, dang.
One of the sweetest owners is my boy Bruce up in Gladstone, I think. Comics Adventure. Oh my God, that dude is super nice.
Is that on 99E?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I've been in there. Dude, places that have a good back selection of stuff. I know it isn't always a thing that makes the most money within those, but it's the thing that makes you. It's my favorite thing when I put something up on a counter and they're like, oh, you like this? You like Thor? And I'm like, yeah. And it's like, did you read this series of Thor? It's like, no, I didn't know about that series. And they're like, oh, let me go take you back. And it's like, here's these issues. Read these. If you like these, come back and get the rest.
Yeah, and he's that type of dude for sure too.
Dude, that was always one of my favorite things that you did. And any of the places that I really felt like I was a part of something that people, I guess that's a show of a good owner or somebody that's a good ambassador for something, is when they're like, oh, you like this. I understand how your mind works to a certain degree.
Right.
Let me get you into the good stuff of it. I remember when going to some of my favorite record shops to be like, oh, so you like Madlib.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this dude called Doom? All right, yo, let me introduce you to Doom. He has a little bit of a different style, but it's X, Y, and Z. You're gonna like it. Yo, this is the album that you need to get. Oh, you just want to get into a taste of it? Here's him and a character named Danger Mouse. They did this thing.
That album. Do you know, recently I tried to turn somebody on to Czarface. They love Doom.
Yeah.
But didn't want to have nothing to do with Czarface.
I'm going to be honest.
And I was very confused.
Who the hell is Czarface? I love you.
I know that you know. I don't know. I didn't know if you were trolling me right now.
Oh no, that was honest.
We're gonna cut that, and I'm gonna talk to him afterwards on Czarface. So,
it's a thing that at this point, I am so ingrained with the music, especially because I do the tribute night parties and everything else, that I get like hyper focused on certain things that other music stuff like escapes me, because I'll be like, all right, I not only like, we're gonna do a Drake night, I need all the Drake music, but I don't only need the Drake music, I want to get the original cuts that like no one has, or I want to get the sample that flips this thing that he did. I want to understand the stuff within it so I can have more fun within it. But that then makes it so I'm so hyper focused within an artist, and I also am practicing so much within that artist, especially like back in the day, that it would become a thing that I would ignore new music that was coming out.
It sounds like homework.
Dude, that's what people don't get. If you really become good and love something, you all of a sudden remember back into school when you had to do book reports and everything else, and you're like, I'm doing a report on something and I'm doing the speech. I'm just not turning in the paper. Yeah. I'm doing all the same amount of work. I ain't citing sources. I'm remembering those sources so I can go back and look for it for some other stuff later. Like, that's the only thing that I turn into now, like within doing the show and getting stuff ready for it. I'll be like, yo man, this is me doing the daily journals in my social studies class. This sucks that Mr. Williams was right all these years later.
Man,
when am I ever
going to
want to
give credit to any of them? I'm glad you brought up Doom though, because Doom, like a lot of people, Doom was what brought me into actually making hip hop. Yeah,
Doom needs a full-on comic book series.
Comic book series, a documentary or two, three.
Dude, it's so weird, like within how when Jay Dilla passed. How everybody went so deep because so much wasn't known. Right. And it was like, he died too soon. Let us get all this music. Let's find out the story. Let's find out, it even to a certain degree made the story of Detroit and Detroit's music scene way more prolific than what it was beforehand. But then when Doom passed, I kind of feel like there was like the exact opposite. It became like this void of stuff. It's like, hey, here's art or here's certain things to remember Doom. But I'm like, we know stuff about Doom, but people really don't. Like, people don't know he was a part of KMD. Right. People don't know that his brother died, and that's why the whole entire character of Doom came about. Like, there's all these deep, really big things about him that, like, people don't know. I'm like, people don't know what Doom's face looks like.
No, they don't. Yeah.
And I'm like, it's very much easy to go find if you know certain things about his legacy. And even more so, the one super crazy thing to me is I'm like, do you know about the Doom bots? Do you know that Doom had people go out to concerts dressed up like him that was not him, pretending to be him?
Genius.
I'm still to the day, I'm like, there should have been a whole entire series where people would dress up like Doom, other famous rappers would dress up like Doom, and then go do shows, and it'd be like, yo, Q-Tip's coming out in a Doom mask doing a show.
Ghostface definitely should have did that.
Oh, Ghostface. The list go. Come on, can we get an albino Action Bronson type Doom?
But yeah. For those that don't know, I also did dabble in music like around I want to say from 2014 to 2017. Hooked up with my boy Keelan King, another person I met from the comic shop. Shout out to Keelan. He goes, he's on Instagram as Beats by Pone. But he was our producer. He was my producer, but he was also the MC. He was from Michigan, actually. Me being from Chicago, we just kind of connected. And he's a comic nerd too. And then when I met him, he was doing a series of albums, a hip hop album called Star Pilot. He has a trilogy of them, which is like this hip hop space opera. I think he did, and then I was featured on the second and third album.
Blasphemy.
And then me and Keelan and then my boy Damon from Chicago got together and formed a group called Praetorians right around the 2016 election because we were all pissed off.
Yeah.
And we needed an outlet. And so we made an album an EP called War Music, which you can find on Spotify. And it's just like, it's not nerdcore. It has some nerd elements, but it's really aggressive hip hop. And we did two sides. We did a past side and a future side. So there's like different instrumentals for each one and a couple different lyrics and all that. But it's about the embodiment of going to war against your enemies. Mm-hmm. So
I remember the videos and stuff that you guys shot for that.
Man, let me tell you about that video. Okay.
Yeah.
So just imagine the setting of 3 black dudes in Milo MacGyver Park dressed up in armor.
Yeah. I was trying to find the picture of it real quick.
Let me tell you, man, we scared a lot of white folks that day. It was interesting. Also, that armor was 80 pounds.
I believe it.
And I was running through the woods in 80-pound armor. And, I'm not I'm big, but I'm not, I was very tired, very old, and I was not.
You're not old. We
seasoned?
Seasoned.
There we go. I was not ready for battle after that video shoot.
Wow.
But it was a great time. We did that one, and then we did another one right before the pandemic called Venison, which Damon flew back up from Chicago to film that, and that was a lot of fun, too. Keelan put that all together. He always puts all this stuff together.
Yo, my brother, I did not realize this until scrolling through your IG right now trying to find this picture.
Yeah.
You really love cats.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. In my current household right now, I have 4 cats. Yeah. Yeah, I've got my OG Batman. We've got and then my other cat Thursday. Oh yeah, that was hey, look at that. Yeah. I've got Batman.
Yeah, you'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah, that was hey, look at that.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, you'll see what happens. All right, let's do it. You never going to get close. We're thinking in that approach. You really want to get until we have the blast show. You see afterwards and after that, so you would go straight to hell. You never going to get faster than get up with a blast. Nice with the flights, even moving and walk one. Coming up full squad, on one you get dumb. I'm rapping tops in the solar system with 2 sons. Never want to battle us, you never could rattle us. Blast you in the fragments, tactical scatterbugs. Dust is what's left, use up your last breath. You ask for fast step, trust what's best. Harder to culminate over plates in a fight, compete with gamma radiated rounds and the lasers out. You get multiple roles, watching you, my space bros. Double dose, you one's better than one, we're the real deal. You run, still get done, it's the thrill kill. All when the chops steal, never can manage. Get us off balance, save off the damage. King and the wolf, arrange your whole palace. Drain your reserve and drink out the chalice. Take your life, then take your wife. Turn out fight the vanish to the night. Yeah.
That was our first time ever performing that song live. Yeah,
dude.
And we were both nervous about it. It was funny too, because it's a pretty fast song, but no, we nailed it, and then we had a victory drink. So,
hey,
I don't even remember where that was.
I was trying to look at the background to figure out.
It was big in there. That's all I can tell you, and there was a lot of purple.
There's a lot of purple.
Yeah.
Dude. Also, there's not the full picture of you with the armor, but we starting to. Oh no! Oh, it's a video.
Oh wow. That's great. That's a shout out to Greg Nibbler who agreed to be our victim. Yeah, I think you gotta hit this little sound thing with the. Oh yeah. But you regurgitated. Now you go swallow your words. I bet the cow tasted. This is death by design. This is art I'm making. Renaissance in my mind, but this is body breaking. Listen, we don't take prisoners, no retreat, no surrender. You antagonize killers. You paved the way for pain and didn't learn from it. Now the field is stained and troop numbers plummet. Couldn't see the forest for the trees. Now we at your gates and you'll be dying on your knees. You know we got gods to appease. Now experience the famine and the plague that is made. You got it, we coming to get it. Take your position, you cannot defend it. We right behind you, we know that you that shield alone would decapitate somebody.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. That
So, yeah.
dude, it's also one of those things I gotta say. It's amazing that how you are one of the pillars within the community out here. And it's a thing that like, and one of the things within the show that I try to do is like, I try to give people their flowers. Like, thank you for being and I truly do mean this, the perfect ambassador for nerd culture out here in a way that it's like you made it super inviting. You didn't make anybody feel stupid, no matter how new they were to it coming into it. Yeah. You were super like, even if you weren't into said thing, you were knowledgeable enough about it to make someone feel comfortable within asking you questions or figuring out stuff. And you were so abreast within different stuff where it's like, yo, like I'm into hip hop, I'm into music, I'm into art, I'm into toys, I'm into this. It was like, yo, I found a part of the Black community that I didn't know. You started this whole entire thing where you just got a group of brothers together, which I was always late to.
It really was.
That it was a thing that like made me super happy that it was like, in fact, I don't know if I actually told you the story. The first one I went to that we did a gathering, I think David was there, and then a couple of the rest of the guys, and then we were at like I think we went to like Mike's or not Mike's. We went to like Killer Burger,
something like
in Milwaukee.
Yeah,
and I remember I was my girlfriend was like introducing me to one of her friends from work, and she had this husband that was like this crazy nerd dude, white dude, but like super nice. They had this gigantic pool. He was into drones. He was into all this nerdy stuff that I was into, and I left in the middle of that because you texted me being like, hey, yo, remember, like, we're doing this today. And I left, and dude was like, yo, man, like, one, you're not inviting me to what you're going to. Like, we're having this wife and kid thing, and you're dipping, like, not even, like, halfway through it to go hang out with this thing. And I'm like, yo, man, this is so important to me. Like, this is, like, a thing where I'm going to get to be around my people. And it's like, no disrespect to you. I'm sure you're a great guy, you're a great person, and we can have a great friendship, which we didn't because I left. Like, I think he was like upset. That was like, yo, like, let me go and be around like a group of Black dudes that are my age that have my walk of life experience in the sense of like, yo, we're nerds. Yeah. We're not the dudes that are being like, yo, this is the score of the latest Blazer game, da-da-da-da-da. Like, you know, we might be, some of those might be in that
we
too.
Welcome that too, but yeah.
But it was just a thing where it's like, yo, we are not a monolith. There's not only one type of Black guy.
Right.
And that, being in that environment and having those people to share that with and just to be a fly on the wall for it was a lot. And it was like the first starting, because after that there was a thing called The Gathering that our homie, why can't I remember his name? Stephen Green. Yeah. Stephen Green does. That was like the second wave of that for me, where it was like, oh, word, there's a group of Black dudes that can be together, be around each other, that are, for not to use the white term, well-spoken about their shit, knew their shit, and can be around each other in the same way that we're in with each other in the barbershop or whatever else. But because we're in Portland, that stuff doesn't exist. And I'm like, thank you, one, for making that. Thank you for being the person that you've been within the community forever. Thank you for being a leader within stuff and making not only events and different groups of things like that to come together, but being unique enough and not afraid to be that person that, like, I get to have the joy from the sidelines of it because you create these things. So that makes more opportunity for me to get to enjoy them. And then to know that they're out here in this world. Like, honest to God, man, thank you. Like, I really, let's give it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
It means a lot.
I wanted to do that, you know, not only for you, but for me, and, you know, because it was my therapy as well. Getting to connect with my people, but also just being outwardly, if there's anything that I try to do, and I try to do it on my Facebook page too, is like, yes, I'm outwardly a nerd all the time. Thank you. But I'm also outwardly transparent about a lot of things, because I recognized a while back that people look to me for that kind of thing. Like I didn't ask to be a leader or anything like that, but people did kind of start gravitating towards me. So that's when I started talking more about mental health on my platform, about being, a nerd and what that actually can look like. It doesn't mean that I'm a basement dwelling, weirdo, or but also there's a lot of stigma around what it takes to be a man, and so I focus a lot on that too. Like there should be no real definitions of what. What that's supposed to be like. I don't have to act a certain way to be considered a man, so I try to open up with emotions and empathy and just reach out to like a lot of communities, especially ours. And so really like, and actually that gathering thing, I went to a couple of those and I connected with a lot of those folks too.
Yeah.
And the group that I started and that group that was started is what paved the way for me to be where I'm at now, because some of those connections I made there helped to make Strange Solutions possible. I'm using those connections now with the museum, with the Northwest MoCA, because
Wait, what does MoCA stand for?
Northwest Museum of Cartoon Arts.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Us, Black people, have a history in cartooning and comics here too, that has not been talked about. And so the reason I joined the board was the president, Michael Rosen, great guy, by the way. He told me what the vision was for the museum and what he wanted to do with it. And when he started talking about the rich history in comics and Black culture, and he was like how he wants to do an exhibits on that too, I was like, oh, I'm in. So yeah, we got him on the board. He's the president, but Mark Russell, Michael Ring, Katie Pride's on the board. Dr. Charles Johnson, which is a famous African-American writer, also a teacher up in Seattle. Great material. But yeah, that's us. Yeah. And we were just getting started. I'm getting ready to help them do some like Kickstarters and we'll do some fundraising, because we're going to start up with a few pop-up events, and then use all the money to lead up to purchasing a physical building, which we are kind of in talks with the city about, like what they want to help us with, because they're actually on board with that. At least that's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. We've been talking to PSU as well, because they want to be involved. Wacom Tablets wants to be involved.
Yeah. Wacom. Those are some great people. Hey, yo, can you put it on me real quick? Yo, shout out to Wacom.
Oh,
you
absolutely.
do a lot of stuff for the community. They help out with Sneaker Week. They helped out with so many different projects that I've been a part of. Shout out to you. You truly are something for the community. Y'all do good work.
Absolutely. And yeah, shout out from me as well, because you've helped me out with other comic events in the past, and I really appreciate it, especially those like artist events. We love you folks for it. Thanks.
Yeah. Portland, it can be a magical place within the uniqueness of being different, and I really do appreciate that. It sometimes feels lonely because there's so few of our people out here, but it makes it into this experience where it's like, yo, you're different, and it's okay, because there's so few of us out there. I might be an X and you might be a Y, but screw it, let's come together, or let me be a part of the thing that you're doing, or let me enjoy what you're bringing to the culture out here, because of so few of us out here, which I think is a dope thing for this community. I think it's just sometimes hard because, once again, there's so few of us out here that sometimes we become crabs in a bucket to ourselves.
Man, let me ask you something, okay? Have you ever been walking past another brother or sister and given a nod and not gotten it back?
Dude, it's yes, and I can tell they're, for lack of a better term, they're not in touch with their Blackness.
That's what I didn't want to say it that way, but that's really what it is, right?
Yeah, it's like,
because I felt kind of judgmental, but I also felt like, man, why didn't you give me the nod? Because I thought that was a universal thing. I really did.
Dude, what it is, and I can encapsulate it into a nutshell real easily. It's a lot of people that aren't raised by Black families, period. When they are adopted by a white family, or they've been taught to hate themselves to a certain degree, where they're like, I'm Black and I'm going to be prideful in these categories of ways that give me power, give me whatever from it, but every other way that is unique to our experience, I want no part of.
Okay, yeah, I've definitely experienced that a few times.
And weirdly enough, I've definitely seen it within dudes, but I more so have seen it within certain women, and it's been a weird thing where it's like best way I can say it, and it's hard to because the sister that played the role is amazing, the black girl in Clueless.
Oh.
It's a weird archetype that's like that.
Yeah, I know a few of them.
And it's just like, oh, but words, you're like, don't lump me into your black category.
Right.
And I'm just like, I'm not, but I'm just saying shared love and experiences. No. All right. You ain't never had macaroni and cheese and not in the box. Macaroni and cheese in the box is great. It's delicious. It has its time and it has its point. But you ain't never had grandmama's mac and cheese?
No, it's sad.
You ain't never had a peach cobbler in your life?
Yeah. Hey, you're making me hungry. Bro,
sorry.
Chill out.
I'm sorry. It happens out here. All right. Let me ask you this question.
What's up?
If there was one thing that you could change about Portland,
oh god,
and I specifically say this for the betterment of the black community, what would it be?
I mean, like how much magical power are we talking here? Just anything?
Anything. You got Genie, and you can do anything.
I don't know where to start.
Or just one thing though. Just
diversity. Can I have a diversity wand? Like just mix up some neighborhoods?
Wow. Wow. You know what? You right on that one.
Because I feel like that would be a good start to answering some of the other issues that I have. Like, food, for one, that is not like an attempt at some other culture's food. I want it to be made by those other cultures in that same neighborhood.
We talk. We have a segment on here called "Grind Your Beans," and we'll do it at the end of the show. So think of what's grinding your beans now.
Okay.
Where I was like, yo, I'm tired of this cultural appropriation of foods and calling it fusion, or being like, hey, here's a traditional Southern food restaurant, and it's like, yo, we got fried chicken and okra and and I'm like, and this place looks like a plantation. If you don't know the restaurant I'm talking about, I'm not gonna name it, but there's two of them, and one of them definitely makes me feel like I'm on an old-timey plantation, and they're serving me Southern food, and I'm like, oh, you do basically chicken and waffles for breakfast, and then your signature dish is your chicken, your fried chicken.
Yeah.
It's a real expensive fried chicken.
I've been to some places here. There's a taco joint that comes to mind that just really irked me.
And the thing is like there's certain things, like I would say like my favorite one, at least within knowing some of the owners, is like Mata, but that's like literally like dude comes from two different backgrounds and he's bringing them together. Koi Fusion, and then there's other ones that I'm like, these are definitely the exceptions to the rules. Our dude from Kim Jong Grillin, another person where I'm like, yo, you taking these American versions and mixing it within your culture to sit up here and make new or different things are definitely word. I get these. But when white people come and take other cultural things, it's like,
or something that we've already had and rename it.
Renamed it. Like KFC.
Yeah.
Just Popeye's chicken.
The latest one is the elotes, the corn. Yeah, they've mixed that up in so many different ways.
I'm just what is the brand? I can't remember. It's is it Trader Joe's that does all the different offshoots of like different racial things? Like they're like oh my god. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Let me see. Trader Joe's racist. Why am I spelling this wrong? Why can't I think of how to spell racist right now? Racist.
You're going to come up with so many other things.
I know.
There's going to be some dude named Joe who's a traitor.
You're going to come up with G.I. Joe battle figures or something.
Right.
Why am I? I'm so awake this morning. Sorry. I just got back from New York the other night, and I'm very halfway here. But this is what we just call a Monday show here.
You're doing fine.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
What is it? Trader Joe's chicken.
This is a real thing?
This is a real thing. They did all these
like on purpose? And they put it out into the world?
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay.
It was me. I was doing that in my head. There we go.
Okay. Racist names. Trader Jose.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's a they had a whole entire, is this just gonna keep messing up? Yeah, they had their own, like, they had rice, yeah. They
Damn, okay.
They had
Trader Jose.
my computer's messing up right now, so we're not gonna do it. But yeah, they had a whole entire thing, and somebody called them out on it, and you would have thought that they would have backpedaled, but they didn't. They just kept all the stuff. Like, it was like Trader Juan's, Trader Chan's, like whatever stuff.
Oh
like,
my God.
and they just did all these different products with it, and I was just like, this is one of those instances where I'm like, you haven't gone back through your Twitter and just deleted some of the stuff you didn't think after you hearing about. Like, one of my favorites is whenever there's a blackface controversy that comes up, and then someone will say something and speak out about it, and then someone will go back into their Twitter timeline and find them doing blackface or something.
Yep.
And I'm just like, before you do anything, like, just in general as a public, anything, I'm gonna give you from 2009 before, you should just delete. You don't still need those tweets. Just delete the whole back catalog. And if you're not gonna do that, then at least go read through some of those, because you don't have as many as you think. And just scroll through some of those, and if you see certain keywords, just delete it.
Yeah.
It's not worth risking it. I feel like that's like the new LinkedIn process you should do. Before you, like, go sign up for LinkedIn, it's like, have you gone back through your Twitter or your other social media platforms and deleted any racial or controversial things you said in your past? Because
Yeah.
might mess up that new job.
I don't want them to. I want them to get caught. So
I do.
So I know who they are.
But this is my thing. I know that there's.
I'm not going to hold it against them like now, because that's old stuff, and people have the ability
cancel culture
to change.
People do.
People can evolve and change. I've evolved and changed. I was a words. Okay. I've done and said many things in the past that I regret.
Yeah.
But also I want people to have I want them to get busted, but I want them to own up to it.
Yeah.
And just say, like, hey, let's talk about this. Yes, at this time period, I was this way, and that was really dumb of me. But this is what I am now, and I assure you that I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I embody what I'm saying to you right now.
You know what that sounds like? It reminds me too much of a Clint Eastwood movie. It seems like just in the sense of that was like, he's hardened and he's racist and everything else, but then all of a sudden, like, some racial group, the Asian family, moved next door, and it's like, you know what? He's just rough on the outsides. He's not really that bad. He's not really that racist. Disconnected? Oh, wow.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
You did it on purpose.
So we got Wings in the building talking some stuff. He's like, yes. They're like, yes. The comic book show is on Division. The comic books hookups are the best feelings. one of the founders of lo-fi hip hop. They are amazing.
Not enough credit goes towards that. Yeah.
Trader Joe's trying to be everything. Nothing is safe. Pumpkin hummus, bro.
Ew. What?
I don't even know. I don't even want to know. It's a magical world that we live in, that there is so much things that are now landmines, which I appreciate from you saying earlier, like, yo, like I try to be not only like an ambassador for stuff, but like, you know, not fit into these categories of like, this is what a man's supposed to be. Like, I really enjoy that we're in a place now where we can be different, and it's more so accepted than it ever was. Like, yo, you being really into comic books back in the day was a horrible thing. Now it's the biggest business in the world within doing that. And I love that switch, but I also like, yo, cancel culture for me as of recently, I'm just like,
it's too much.
It's too much. I always coin in this phrase. I'm like, people got their third eye open, but their two eyes closed.
Ooh, I like that.
And I'm just like, yo, you are so woke to so much stuff, but not woke enough to realize that people can change and we can become different from what we were.
There have been people that are so woke that it's insulting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, how many times have you, I think since I've been in
so
Portland,
woke, I'm like, take a nap.
Right.
Take a nap.
Or, like, you know, I'll be honest, you know, I got a real pet peeve for white folks trying to teach me about oppression. Like, could you just not do that? Like, just stop. I got it. Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Don't teach me about the Black experience.
Yeah.
More so, what you nailed it on the head. Stop telling me how I'm supposed to feel.
That too, yeah. Speaking out on my behalf on things that are like, you know.
Yeah, it's like, just because this is your Black experience doesn't mean that it's the Black experience. And I'm like, you know what? It might not be the Black experience, but it's a lot closer than whatever your experience is.
Absolutely.
Don't try to come to me like, do you understand what it's like to be a Black woman? And I'm like, no, I don't. But I know what it's like to be a Black person.
Right.
And
then I can take that and then and try to empathize with what it's like to be a woman on top of that.
Yeah, I always love it when someone tries to add something to the Black experience and try to then nullify the Black experience. Like, you know what? It's like, yes, that's hard for a Black man, but do you know what it's like to be a Black trans woman? Do you know what it's like to be a Black queer person? Do you know what it's like to be a Black person with disabilities? Or I'm like, just because you added Black to a different group that is disenfranchised doesn't mean that the Black is negated, or doesn't mean that I can't understand what they're going through without being them. Because the thing is, when you, in America said it best, when you have a drop of Black in you, you're Black.
Black. That's it.
That's it. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm really tired of you trying to add an if, and, or but to my Black. My Black is Black. It's blackity black, black, black. Stop trying to make it to be something different when it's added to something else.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, it's, and when they try to make it be like the cash cow of like in the sense of being like, hey, so you have said Black thing. I would like to make you money off of this because I don't know if you've known that you can take advantage of this because you're Black. I'm going to help you take advantage of your Blackness. All I'm asking for is a small subscription payment.
Yeah. I got sent a lot of those.
Yo, yeah, and it's like, yo, like I thank people that are a part of the communities and the different organizations and the different things out there in the world that are like, hey, we want to make sure that like your history or your legacy is shown and I don't know what the right word is, encapsulated for prosperity for time going forward. Because, you know, so much of our history gets erased. So much of our story gets told by other people in certain lights or whatever thing. And I appreciate people that try to be a part of that and try to be helping within that narrative. But help.
Right.
Don't try to take over. Don't try to be the linchpin. Don't try to be like, hey, if I don't go through you, then I don't get to do this. Just help.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like I said, that was the approach that the museum had, which is why I said yes, because I've definitely been approached in the other manner, and I said no. So, and
it's a weird thing that people.
Ooh, can we do grind our beans?
We will do it. We'll do it before the end of the show.
Okay.
We still got time.
I got one fresh right here.
Yeah, we have one fresh.
Yeah.
You want? No, we'll do it for the end because then it'll be easier for Jesus to edit afterwards.
Okay.
Wait. Let me see. Trader Joe's trying to do nothing to save pumpkin hummus, bro. Oppression. People is a competition. It's like, how many Pokemon gym badges do you have?
That's great.
In the comments, yo, you keeping it fire right now. Let's get back to you within what you're doing.
Ooh, can I do this?
Go for it. Let's do it. What you got?
Okay. So I actually was saving this for the show just because, and this kind of goes back to comics. One of the companies I work with right now is Fair Square Comics, run by Fabrice Sapolsky.
Yeah.
But they are a comic company that reached out to me recently, but they are focused on making immigrant voices known.
Yeah.
And so they're a lot of their creators are other marginalized groups, which is why I said, yes, I want to work with you. But recently I asked
Don't forget about that mic. Just you move it with you. We can hear it,
yeah.
so you can do it wherever.
How about this? Good?
Yo, just pull it over with you so it's right in front of you. You good.
Okay, right there. Yeah. All right, so recently I asked Fabrice to just send me like one of his magazines. They have a magazine series called Mutiny. But then he just sent me a whole package of stuff. So I have no idea what's in here.
Ooh.
And I figured I would see what he sent me. So let's go through.
I also love that for the medium of telling our stories, comics are such a fantastic way to do it that I think that a lot of people just didn't realize beforehand. It's like, yo, we can make our own Inglourious Bastards. We don't need to get this huge studio to let, Quentin Tarantino tell our story. Which no hate on Quentin on doing that, but like I just think that's like such a great medium to do so.
Dang. These are nice. These are nice nice covers.
Nice.
Good job. Okay, so look, first I'll start with this. Like he like I said, he did Mutiny magazine, which is like kind of a comics anthology magazine with short stories in it. And so he sent me the full set. So you can see here, there's issue 1. Like that. We got 2, 3, and 4. Yeah.
You got the Spawn going on.
Oh, man.
I still
Great
love
stuff.
that people don't realize Spawn is black.
I know, right? I wonder if that movie's ever actually going to happen. The one that's supposedly going to star Jamie Foxx.
All right. Oh, man.
Yeah. Hold on. We're talking about. Okay, so here's my 2 surprises. Mm-hmm. This is one of their new books, Breath of the Giant. I didn't know that he had these in hand already, and this is beautiful.
While you keep showing that, I'm gonna be right back. Let me sneak out for 1 second.
Okay. Dang. Okay. I'm very surprised. Thank you, Fabrice. But I was hoping he would send me this because this is like brand new. It is Noir is the New Black presents Watson and Holmes, and if you guys haven't heard about this, it's a Sherlock story, but it is told with 2 brothers in Harlem as Watson and Holmes. So it's a modern day Sherlock story set in Harlem, and new cover. This is an older book that they picked up and brought back out, and they're gonna have new installments. But this new cover is by Carrie Randolph. So yeah, I was gonna buy this anyway. So thank you. It was a nice surprise. I love little other stuff like this Breath of the Giant. I love me some fantasy stuff like with a lot of colors popping. So, and now I have a whole bunch of magazines to read. So thank you, Fabrice. Thank you, Fair Square. Much appreciated. Hell yeah. Yeah. So the other stuff on the table with me actually is I mentioned a couple times that I like to do. I'm addicted to toys, and with that came my addiction to customizing action figures. I have another Instagram channel called Mix Master Makers that I use to highlight the things that I create. And so I just wanted to show some of them. What I've been doing is focusing on toys that I can make that offer the diversity and inclusivity that the toy companies just aren't giving me. So, I mean, yeah, I'll make a samurai, a ninja, something like that, but I like, try to make just other stuff, So, for instance, this is a wheelchaired hero that I made. He's got like cybernetic hands, and this is a Latin character that I haven't named him yet. I'm working on his backstory, but I actually, he's an amputee as well, so I made sure to put some detail there. But I gave him like this dope keyboard, and I think he'll just control some electronics, stuff like that. Here I made like a tiny non-binary soldier.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna make more non-binary characters, but I'm also gonna focus on not all of them looking like Pixies or David Bowie relatives.
Wow.
Because like non-binary doesn't mean you look exactly like this. You can look like anything. So I'm gonna make sure I focus on that. Then I was trying to do stuff like this. This one here, I call him Benny the Butcher. I made this out of a Shang-Chi figure.
Yeah.
So you can see he's got his nice ponytail, and he looks like, he's got a big meat cleaver. But here's the thing. I wrote his backstory, and his backstory is that he is a library assistant. Okay.
What is the ethnic background?
I kept him as Korean.
Okay.
But he is a library assistant, and he just loves books that much that he will go out and collect the dues. So return your books on time. Return your books on time, kids.
Yo, that is a fire story. I want that so bad. Yo, the funny thing is because the way that you did it, there is a whole entire thing within the Asian community where they take from Chicano culture. Yeah. And I say that like Asian communities do the best job of I'll say the correct way to appropriate or to take on other cultures, because it's out of pure respect.
It is.
And it's like when they dove into car culture and they started making different things within that whole entire community, they did it the right way. They still made it theirs. When they got into hip hop and they got into the b-boy and everything else, they did it in the right, authentic way. And it's always out of a way of appreciation. I guess it is an appropriation. It's out of appreciation. And there's
a big difference.
Yeah.
There's
and
a
how
big
they
difference.
do it. And when they did the Chicano culture, I love it. It's just dope.
You can't have this one. I know this is the one you might try to steal from me, but this is my version of Isaiah Bradley.
Yo,
the first Captain America.
The fact that they didn't do a figure, and I hate to ever say this, but They weren't like, Black History Month, we just did the Falcon Winter Soldier. You know what we should do? We should do.
Yeah. I did love, like, he was properly represented in the Winter Soldier TV show. The Falcon
that's what I'm saying.
They should have, he was represented, but they should do a figure of him.
They should do a figure of him.
Yeah.
They should do a whole entire storyline.
Yeah. So that's like a lot of my diversity type, figures and stuff like that. But I also do like weird cybernetic samurai, Just
you know me,
because
samurai.
Who doesn't like samurai and ninjas and stuff like that?
Dude, the color of rage.
Yeah. Just all sorts of like little things. I still got lots of projects in the works. So if you're into this kind of thing, follow me on Mix Master Makers on Instagram. And if you want to see me try to make something, make a suggestion. So
you have so many IGs.
Mix. Just four. Yeah, Mix Master Makers.
All right, I think I got it.
Okay. But yeah, so like I try to do that. I try to again, that's my another way that I try to promote diversity and inclusivity. Oh yeah, there you go. I made some weird stuff.
But it's all dope because, like, all right, when I see some of these, I'm like, I just want the comic book of this. I
made that one for our boy Alan.
Yeah,
because he's big in collecting G.I. Joe figures right now, but they don't have enough black or female characters. So I've been making him different characters of different ethnicities, and Yeah.
And that's the one thing that I was kind of trying to talk about before is like, the archetype of what a black character looks like in comics when it's or comics or anything pop culture related when it's not us making it. It's like, so he's big, he's bald, he has the mustache, he's black, and it's like there's the character in G.I. Joe, there's Luke Cage, there's the Green Mile-esque looking character.
Always.
That's in all.
And he's gonna be super strong or have lightning powers or cybernetic limbs.
Dude. The fact that I'm just like, just give us a Thor that's black. Since you've been loving to make us be lightning based characters since the dawn of time, just make Thor black. You know what? In fact, do a crossover series with Cyborg and Thor as one human being.
That would be crazy. That would be. I want to see somebody draw that challenge.
Hey. So that being said, because I wanted to get into this, you nailed it on the head for me earlier. Jamie Foxx playing Spawn.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
It does. I mean, did you watch that last movie he did on Netflix with the vampire slaying?
No, I didn't watch that. I watched whatever the series was right before that. P.S. They're starting to give him a lot.
Yeah.
I want him to play another character.
Who?
I want him to be my Green Lantern.
Jamie Foxx? To be Jon Stewart?
This is basically like the cop military type architect, which Jamie Foxx has done before.
I mean,
I can just see Jamie Foxx with the silver hair right here. When Jon Stewart becomes a little bit older, just make it.
He could do it. I mean, no, he could totally do it. I mean, he ain't no Tyrese. I'm just kidding. Relax.
Tyrese is the Green Lantern. Wow.
I'm just messing with you, man.
Who else would you take as being?
What ticked me off was the brother that they used to have on Arrow to play Diggle. They were making him sort of like a Jon Stewart character, and he even got a ring by the end of that series. And he would have been a great Jon Stewart, but now that's not going to happen. It's just not. He would have been good. But who else? Man, I don't know, man.
I mean,
there's not a new young talent out there. I probably would want to look into seeing some of the new league.
I mean, Kang could just switch over and become.
No, look, see, they're already gonna try to make him everybody anyway.
I know. So, but when he was in that series, in Lovecraft, I was just like, oh, just make this brother in the Green.
What was that Western that he did too?
Oh,
Regina King. I love that movie too. The Harder They Fall.
The Harder They Fall.
Yeah,
that was good. And I was just like, yo, there's not enough black Western type stories in general. Even though we have like a prolific history within Western music, it's like another thing that's like, hey, we invented and started and cultivated, and then all of a sudden we have no history of being a part of. AKA black music, or black music was rock and roll.
Right.
We did that.
Absolutely. Hey, what about Boyega? What would you want to see him do something? The superheroes?
John Boyega? Dude, I still just want them to get Finn's story right. Yeah. I did a print of him at him as the Stormtrooper, and it's let me see if I can find it real quick. Basically, I did it as Kunta Kinte. FN218 was my slay name.
Yeah.
Like that was Finn. I was so mad when I heard the actual story of what it was supposed to be for his character and what they ended up doing. Yeah.
That's dope.
So
yeah, I love following his Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, dude, like him even the whole entire basis of his story of supposed to be a Ronin, supposed to be basically a samurai that no longer has a master. Like, I just thought was dope within what they could have done, and that he was supposed to be the new lead character for that series in Star Wars, and then they moved it over to Rey, and they tried to do it if they won't they with every other character.
They
was like
did it with him and
Poe
Rose,
and Ben, and I was like,
although I got to be honest, I think the Poe one made the most sense to me. But although they're boys, and all that, but I think the dynamic on the screen for them was what did it for me. Like they just really acted well off of each other.
I mean, it could have been a way better series than what it was. Is Sean still in frame? Yeah.
Okay.
Huh?
Real quick.
Yeah.
You have 8 minutes till 10 o'clock, but technically you still have like another.
Like almost 20 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Word up.
Are you good on time?
Yeah.
I got you wherever we need to go from here.
I thought you have another interview.
Oh, we do. I'm the worst. I still got you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
When do you want me to let you know?
Talk to me in 15 minutes from now. Is that good? Yep. Okay. Damn. I was gonna say, so Finn, dope. Who else would you want to see?
Man, I want to see Janelle Monáe
Yes.
be a superhero. I mean, she's already proven that she can do a lot of different things.
They were talking about possibly giving her Storm.
Interesting.
And-
Actually, okay, I don't know her name, but it was the sister that played on what was the American Gods. She played.
See, I never saw that show.
She played the African goddess.
Yeah.
She would be a great Storm. Because she was brilliant in that show. She's gorgeous. She's built, you know. And I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't want Janelle Monáe to be Storm. I wouldn't mind her playing that new Green Lantern though. The younger one.
Oh,
yeah.
Is this
Yeah,
what you're
that's
talking
her.
about? Yeah. I can already see it. Not mad at it whatsoever. And also, I wouldn't want to do this, but if the sister that plays Okoye, I could also see her as Storm and not be
but
mad.
she's Okoye
I know.
already.
I don't want to take away from it.
You know? I mean, back in the day, like when I first started dreaming of comic book movies, my pick was always Angela Bassett. I was like, if Angela Bassett isn't my Storm, I don't know what else, you know. But I always wanted. There were two things that I always argue about. I always wanted Angela Bassett as Storm,
Okay.
and then I mean, we're switching to a white character, but Captain Marvel. No disrespect to Brie Larson, but I always wanted Katie Sackhoff.
Okay.
Ever since Battlestar Galactica, Katie Sackhoff should have been my Captain Marvel. So I don't know. I don't know how everybody else feels about that, but I think she would have. I think she still could have got the job now. And
Katie Sackhoff. Dude, I tried to see her when she Starbuck.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Katie Sackhoff is amazing in everything that she does.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember the Netflix series that's in space that she did.
Oh yeah, I love that. I
Dude,
was watching that too.
Dude, and they stopped it, and I was just like, "What? You telling me that's it?"
No, I think they brought it back for a second season.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But they stopped it after the second season. Yeah. P.S. Sci-fi shows that have had black characters in them as of recently have been amazing, and I'm just like, yo, we just need a whole entire subcategory, black sci-fi, that is just like I need some Wakanda spin-off stories. Like,
that would be great.
Because like I love what they did with Wakanda Forever and what they did with Black Panther. But I'm like, there's so much more in depth within the black sci-fi realm or the black Afro punk type stuff that I'm like, I need more of that. And it not just to be these little pop-up things here and there. Also, because the actual comic book Color of Rage, I've been wanting this just because one, that title, and then just having doing the Rush Hour look of a black and Asian lead characters going, I just want so bad. I'm just like, yo, especially after they did Last Samurai, and I was just like, wait, we can put, and then they did Afro Samurai after that. I'm like, yo, we can sit up here and have black samurai
I don't know if you
characters.
Heard, but Kwanzaa's book, Black, is getting a TV adaptation.
What?
Yeah, it got announced late last year, but I think it's being in production, and that's for those who don't know, Black is about is a comic universe where only black people have superpowers. So you can imagine the rest. Just go read it.
You know what that reminded me of when I first heard it was the Uzumaki clan, or not the Uzumaki clan, the ones with the shotgun gun in Naruto. How they're all cops.
Yeah.
I was just like, so you're just saying they're the black people of the Naruto universe. P.S. They took so long to put black characters in Naruto.
Yeah.
Yo, and tell me how you feel about this. my Asian anime universe, we can do a little bit better.
Oh, please.
We could do a little bit better. Every time that there's a black character on some stuff, it's I don't know who drawed it or whatever else, but
there was one on that was on like on sword art for a little bit, but he disappeared and he wasn't that bad. But
he wasn't that bad. I remember what you're talking about. He was like but he's still the archetype of like the bartender.
Yeah.
Big, tall, black guy.
Right.
Yeah. That I'm just like, yo, like as much as you take things within our culture and within like hip hop or whatever else, like please come on, do a little. Can we
get some? Actually, you know where I've been finding a lot of stuff like that? Webtoons. I am all over the Webtoons platform. I lead a lot of the Webtoons series. Sure, there's a lot of problems there too, but there's a lot of good representation of us and other cultures that are popping up there.
Yeah.
And I will gladly, every now and then I'll put a list of which ones I, want to promote.
All right, I have a proposition for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to be at least within us, because we can do it in a quick enough format where we can like either like FaceTime you or whatever else during the show at some points and have you just as our black comic, or just not even black comic. Let me re-say that, because that's totally what the problem is with us. You want to be our comic expert, our pop culture expert, that we can sit up here and hit you up and talk about stuff, being like, yo, the new thing coming in. We're gonna tap in with Sean Wynn, talk about what's going on. Serious Black, what's going on in the universe.
You know what? Tell you what, I would absolutely love to do that, but I want to hear what they have to say about it. If that's something you want me to do, please speak out and let them know that, if that's something you want to be part of the show, I'm happy to do it.
But dude, you 110% right about Katie Sackhoff. I forgot, and Another Life. That was the TV series.
Yes, that is it. Yeah, yeah. Actually, the brother that was on there too was on Doctor Who as well. The guy who played the AI. Yeah,
dude, Doctor Who's done black people right.
Yes, they have.
If they could just hurry up and give us a black doctor, they did.
They did. Yeah.
They did. But I need.
Sorry, sci-fi brain. You know what other shows doing black people right?
What?
The Expanse. If you're not watching The Expanse,
I know what you're talking about, and for some reason it's not. Oh, the Expanse. Yes, yeah, that is all right. Sorry, that is my favorite sci-fi show, and I would say this: sci-fi needs to stop doing movies unless they're creating a universe within it, because TV shows are way better for sci-fi series.
Absolutely.
Like all the Star Wars that are TV based is better than the movies. Like, yes, the original trilogy is what it is. I like the starting point there, and then it to go into series.
Right.
Because was it Black Space or Black Science? Oh my God, I can't remember what's.
Dark Matter?
Dark Matter.
Oh.
Dark Matter was my shit.
I loved it.
Dude, I even still love the fact that people don't know the voice of God of War.
Black, yep.
That's Stargate SG-1. Yo, do us in science fiction in general, like the characters that we have are some of the best characters within series.
And they're not stereotypes or anything like that. They just happen to be, black and in space, and we survived and, stuff like that. But actually, just this past Saturday, I was over at Fan Expo. And I was
you were there?
Yeah. I was.
Well, you were there on Saturday. I was in New York.
Yeah, I was there on Saturday. I was actually speaking on a panel about Star Trek.
Deep Space Nine right here.
Yeah. Shout out to Sarah Goldie for running that. But yeah, we were just talking about all the upcoming shows and all the, again, the diversity and inclusivity and what Star Trek, especially the new shows, are portraying. They got some points.
Dude, I
not everybody likes the show's materials themselves. Like a lot of people don't like Discovery right now because it's just too intense and it doesn't feel as Star Trek.
Okay.
They like Brave New Worlds instead, which feels more episodic and all that. I get it, but I'm taking it all in and separately. And Picard season 3 just hit.
I haven't seen any of it yet of the Picard series. Oh God, I'm trying to find this thing for you. I just want to show you this one thing. All right, keep going. I'm find it.
But no, yeah, it was a nice panel and just getting to speak on what's coming next on the Star Trek, and they're putting out so much. I mean, even that cartoon is a banger. So, yeah. Lower Decks. It's hilarious.
Dude, I've heard of it, but I haven't gotten a chance to see it yet.
And in fact, Star Trek Lower Decks, the cartoon series, has a black female lead. The captain is a black woman, and her daughter is the main character.
Didn't they just have Geordie LaForge on something?
He's gonna be in Picard season 3.
Okay, that's what I saw.
Yeah. But again, like they also have a lot of other different races and species and all that. But because that's Star Trek, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yes, Geordie LaForge, and then what was the sister's name from the original Star Trek series?
Uhura?
Yep.
Yeah.
I sent it to the wrong computer. Ignore what I just sent to you, Jesus. So I went to Fan Expo. I had to go on Friday. And then I ended up also taking my kids for literally the last hour on Sunday. Anytime that there's a con, they should just be like, hey, the price is a sliding scale, especially on the last day. If you're just trying to get in and you can't afford to spend damn near $40 a person if you're an adult, and then paying
how much was it for kids?
I think it was like 12 for 6 to 12, and then from 13 to 17 it was like 24, something like that.
Ouch.
I'm just like, yo, if you have a kid under 10, it should be free. Yeah.
You know Fan Expo is just Wizard World, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And dude, I almost swore that I was never going to go to another Wizard World again, because I went to the first one, or went to one a couple of years ago. That thing was it doesn't make it's not great. It's not the okay. Some people really enjoy it. You know, I'm not really into celebrity photos and signatures and all that because I don't have that money. But I'm there for comics, and toys. The brother that did which they didn't have much of.
Exactly.
The brother that did that was in The Mandalorian.
The main guy?
The main black guy is in The Mandalorian. Sorry.
Oh.
Oh my God. He's also in Rocky.
Oh, wait. Oh, you talking about Carl Weathers?
Dude, Carl Weathers signing autographs and doing that. Regular autograph, $80. If you got him sign anything 3D, which he said was a premium signature, $300.
I mean,
and it's like, yo, bro, I just want to, in those situations, I just want to go up and say, thank you for representing us on TV or within this light. You know, you've been doing it since back in the day. You were Chubbs and Happy Gilmore.
Hey, he was Action Jackson. Yeah.
I mean, he was Apollo.
Yeah.
Apollo's Creed we would not have right now. Michael B. Jordan would not be killing that right now. Shout out to Creed coming out March 3rd. Go watch that. I've not seen any of those movies, by the way. It's not a lack of it's hard for me to watch another boxing film after seeing Ali done so well.
Yeah,
and I know that they're probably dope. And
I have to be in the mood, to be honest. You know, because you know it's going to be intense, and you know it's going to pull at your heartstrings too. Like certain things I just can't watch, you know, until I'm ready.
All right, I'm gonna put this up, but I'm only gonna do that to do this. Yep, it's not gonna let me. All right, I'm going to show you this. Can I make sure I have a little bit of volume on this? I'm gonna pull up this clip on my computer real quick.
Just heads up, you're 5 away from those 15.
Okay.
Yo, what's up? This is Dante Bosco, Rufio, the leader of the Lost Boys, and Prince Zuko, the...
Wait, hold on. Are you getting enough volume on this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yo, what's up? This is Dante Bosco, Rufio, the leader of the Lost Boys, and Prince Zuko, the Fire Nation, letting you know you're listening to your morning drip. What's up, Ronan?
Yeah, baby.
Let's go, Bangarang, honor.
Happiest moment. Oh, sorry.
Man.
Happiest moment of my life, and then you know the boy had to get Prince Zuko. The funny thing is they had the Blue Spirit.
Ooh,
and I could have got him to sign that, but I was like, I'm just gonna get you to sign this. I'm not gonna try to go overboard. But yeah, Prince Zuko, the best character I gotta say in Avatar, the best non-anime anime.
I love that series. I do that. I watch that series at least once a year.
Dude,
Yeah.
Another series
that and Korra, to be honest.
I'm like, I want. See, this is a hard thing because most of those are based in it being mostly Asian characters, and I'm like, I wanted there to be a black nation or a black character in Avatar.
There might be, you know.
Yeah, I'm just like, just because like I want to have that connection, but at the same time I respect it for what it is, and but
yeah, I mean, like with something like that, I want to see them get their props too, and that's a lot of things that people don't understand as well. Is that I'm not fighting for just us; I'm fighting for a lot of different communities.
Oh yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, like I can't wait for them to do a full on. I want them to do a Latin based like story that's in like a feeling like this, because like the Aztecs, the Mayans, you have all that crazy history. Like what they did with Namor, like I wasn't 100% satisfied with it, but I was happy that they did it.
Yeah.
Though I know some part of the Latin community was like, why couldn't we get our own movie? Why did we have to be tied into this? And I'm like, yo, just remember Black Panther first appeared in Civil War. Which is funny enough.
Yeah.
That's the movie they decided to put Black Panther in first.
Right. Which I think it's funny too. Like you're right. Namor, I think will probably get a lot more exposure, because if they really do have the rights to Fantastic Four back, dude, he's got to show up.
I'm just like, all the story, like you can do a Namor movie that has no basis in modern day.
Yeah.
And you can do just a whole entire period piece of Namor and how he had to deal with something like, yo, the reason why he's this mad is because he brought his mom onto the shore, buried her, saw what was happening to his people. Here's a whole entire storyline of colonizers and Namor having to deal with this like moment of X, Y, and Z. And this is the reason why he's this way.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I hope they do something like that. I would like to see that, but I have a feeling that, I mean, they could also bring in Dr. Doom, you know, Dr. Doom's coming, and then you got Latveria, who has been at war with Atlantis and Wakanda. So,
dude, and we still haven't gotten our Blade movie.
Yeah, it's coming. Hopefully, I don't know.
Dude,
is old boy still signed on for it, or did he?
He's still signed on for it, and I think that the last thing I remember was them basically saying, "Yo, we're scrapping the storyline because homie is saying that it's so messed up and problematic."
Damn.
Like he was like, "It's so disjointed. I'm not gonna let this be Blade." Which, within going back, looking at Marvel history, Blade was the first successful movie.
I wonder how bad that script is. I kind of want to see it.
Dude, my thing with it is just
like, was he just jumping out like, I guess I'm getting chicken tonight, you know, and slicing the beef? No.
I just thought like either one, what I would love for them to do is take the Blade storyline of the original movie and just make that into the Marvel universe, and either make the new Blade like his son, and make old girl from the first movie or the second movie being like, here you go. This is Blade's son, or just totally make Wesley Snipes into like making him into a whistler.
A whistler. Well, honestly, there was talk at one point about making a Blade's daughter movie. So with Blade as the So
dude, I would take any and all of these things. How did you feel about Wakanda Forever?
I cried a lot.
I cried, dude. The end of that movie. The end of that movie. All right, let me get my theory.
All right, go ahead.
This is my random theory. All right, spoilers. Just spoilers if you've not watched Wakanda Forever and you suck because you haven't watched it yet. So with his son coming into the movie, what I want to keep it connected to the original Marvel universe. They have his son named T'Challa being his successor. For them to do the new X-Men series and make Storm still be his wife, connected within that storyline.
It really does depend on how old the X-Men are supposed to be when they introduce them.
But that's the thing, is that we can get Storm's current story, have her a little bit older than T'Challa, have them speed up in the universe, like having the time variance and everything else, where he goes missing, stuck in a different universe for X amount of time, and then he comes back as an adult. So how they basically did the blip, have him come back, you get to see the beginning of Storm and him within a series of them being in Africa and everything else get disjointed in time, however they want to do it. Storm comes back and goes to the X-Men. Somehow Black Panther comes back into this timeline, and they're adult versions, but it's only been like 2 years, a year, something like that.
They could do it. That's gonna
in this timeline.
That's a lot of science.
But I mean, they've done the Battle Worlds, they've done the Quantum Universe where he's been gone for 5 years. They've done so many of these timelines. I'm just being like, I don't want to have to wait for them to put him in Young Avengers for X amount of time to get to that point in the story. I just want quickly, give me a movie, give me a mini series. Like I know they're doing the Wakanda mini series.
Yeah.
Give me that age up point of him. Give me that.
You'll be lucky if maybe you get a what if episode.
Get me to the point of basically T'Challa and Storm and make that the leading into the X-Men.
Yeah. I have my theories on that too, but my feelings on Wakanda Forever, that last part, I'll be honest, I was kind of like, okay, whatever you're gonna do, just do it. I'm a wait and see kind of guy. I necessarily wouldn't have made that choice. I wasn't in the whole like recast T'Challa fight or anything like that. I was waiting seeing the whole time.
But T'Challa's kid's storyline has been messed up in the comics forever.
Yeah. Which is why I was like, okay, well, what are you going to do now? Now I have no idea what you're going to do because there's like 3 to 4 ways you can go with that. So, but whatever. But I was fine with Shuri being Black Panther. Not a bother for me because it did happen in the comics.
But Shuri's so different from the comics to the movie.
A little bit. Shuri is tougher in the comics.
Yeah.
Her leaning on her science in this is okay as long as she learns to, fight more.
Yeah, I was waiting for that sequence with her and M'Baku, and M'Baku basically being like, "Let me teach you how to do it without your." That was the worst black. That's the only accent I could do, and that was the worst representation of doing an African accent. But basically, just M'Baku being like, "Yo, here's your training montage of me making you into stronger and better."
Right, M'Baku, I love that dude, man. Dude, there's the fish man.
Yo, you actually have like 10 before the episode. Technically, just 2 hours. And then also, I texted you Mr. Pintu, which is like a Latin artist.
You can talk into the mic so we can actually hear you.
I tried it. I don't know why it's not working. I also put that by now.
Oh, you didn't press the button?
I did. I pressed the button.
Ooh, yeah. Right.
So, anyways, check your text. There's like, if there's gonna be ever like a Latin anime-esque, it would be Mr. Pintu.
Yeah. Nice.
Incredible art.
Okay. What was the name of the Philippines one that came on Netflix? Tresse? Tresse? Let me see. It's like Trese, I think.
I'm trying to. Oh yeah, that's right. I just loved how they ended Wakanda Forever in the sense of like you can now retell the Black Panther's storyline from any direction you want because it's still T'Challa. It's T'Challa the second, and dude, the fact that they brought back Michael B. Jordan in the way that they did,
Man,
oh my god!
Yeah, I audibly gasped.
Yeah. I was like, oh, they're going to bring him back in some corny way. Like they had the thing, but they put a bead in or something. And I was like, oh, man. But then when the way that they did it and how they tied that into Shuri, I got so annoyed with white people being like, the story is this. I was like, this is one of the better Marvel movies, hands down.
And that's what kills me, too. And I was talking about this the other day. Like, you can always out somebody a little bit when they try to, like, critique a movie. They're like, especially if it's female-led or has a lot of diversity in it, they're like, oh, it was just sucks and blah, blah, blah. They give these reasons, right? But they like something shittier.
Yes.
And I'm like,
yes.
Like, how? There's like, oh, this is just too many plot holes. That's the whole Marvel universe.
Yes.
Like, how is this one worse than the other one you talk about you love?
It's like, you know what? Iron Man 2 was way better within how they did everything. And it was like, you realize all the plot holes in the end. I'm like, all those fights have them fighting themselves at the end of it. It's the person with the same powers they're fighting at the end of every single one of them. You had Namor versus a new age essentially gun-wielding Black Panther. Mm-hmm. And you had a problem with this.
Yeah.
My only problem within that movie is twofold. One, I wanted more of the Namor storyline.
Yeah.
I just wanted more of that. And then two, I wanted more battle sequences or training within it for Shuri.
Yeah.
Like Shuri's fighting in there, but Okoye.
Those suits, that suit that Okoye had, I was so happy to see that. Because
Midnight Angels?
Yeah. Because, like, you know, when I saw it in the comics, I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's cool design. And then to see it on the screen, I was like, it looks just like it.
Yeah. Dude, and them representing us in Chicago with Riri Williams.
Yeah.
Yo, I was all about that.
Yeah.
Here's the artist that Jesus was talking about. You might not have been able to hear him, but was this is this the one that you're talking about, Jesus?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He ended up doing the artwork for a buddy of mine for his album.
Oh.
It's just a really, really dope art.
I love this.
Now imagine this like as an animated
Dude, I just all of a sudden can already see a Studio Ghibli Princess Mononoke style movie with Aztecs in it, and it just looks dope in my head.
I want that. Oh.
That's the one thing that, like, within this style of character, because technically that can be a Black girl, that can be an Asian girl, that can be someone of Latino descent. Like, you can have so many people within that archetype of a look, with it just being a difference of color, and it's still represented. Because is her hair kinky, like looking like that, or is it straight, or is it whatever? Because it could be anything. It's all how you envision it.
Jesus, look up a webtoon for yourself called "Here There Be Dragons."
Why does that sound so familiar? And it's all right, yeah. That just looks like Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask. Is it Tuxedo Mask?
Yeah, that's Tuxedo. Yeah, that's the name. But
dude,
I really love those colors.
Dude, I'm happy that, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do a bang right there.
There's also Jesus that I sent you, but that, you know, that's for your own timing.
Okay.
He's a local artist who does very similar aesthetic as far as like pulling from their indigenous backgrounds.
Okay.
But not in the same style.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
I just love that
joint right there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, all right. Would you be opposed to this being a new symbol for a football sports team in general? If they went about being like, hey, we're going to give, let's say, 10% royalties from now forth. This artist did this work from this region, from these people. We're going to donate 10% to the indigenous people that this is representing.
Oh, okay.
Onwards. Would you have a problem with it if they did that?
I wouldn't, and I would be for that, but I would want to follow the lead of the people.
But I'm saying, like, if it was us, like if it was yo, we're doing the Panthers football team is now going to be represented. We're going to give X, Y, and Z Black money to Black communities within this stuff. We're going to follow this narrative for this character.
I could get behind it depending on the verbiage and the narrative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that I just feel like, because, you know, they do casinos and different stuff like that within the Native American community. Would people have a problem with the Black Hawks hockey team that's here, or the Winter Hawks here in Portland, if it was, hey, we're giving X, Y, and Z money to the reservations? They get to choose the different art that's going to be on the jerseys every year, chosen by a committee panel of X, Y, and Z people.
That would be nice if they actually did that. That'd be a nice start.
You know what? My thought within this, because I was like, I would like that if it was forced to be every single team in the NFL. You have to be represented by the indigenous people of your community that were originally there, whether it being Black, Native American, Hispanic, Asian, whatever it may be. It's like, hey, we have a long history of injustice to the Asian community because we had internment camps here in Oregon at this point.
Right.
So we're going to represent our soccer team. Isn't going to be the Timbers. Isn't going to be this white dude with an axe, X, Y, and Z. It has to be this representation of the black community or the Asian community or the Mexican community that was here, that was doing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And it was just every sports team, and they're like, this is our way of keeping the heritage alive of this community. Right. If we're going to cheer
Not
for something.
simply just name it a street that you don't do anything with.
Name it a street.
Park, or a whole city or whole town that does nothing for that community.
Aloha!
Yeah.
No, but this is dope. Thank you for pointing this out to us, Jesus, because this is that in my head I'm very happy came out.
Yeah.
Word. Before we get into our final segments of the show, is there anything else that you wanted to bring up or show before? Because man,
I think we covered everything. Just again, Northwest Museum of Cartoon Arts.
Make sure to bring that mic up to you.
Again, Northwest Museum of Cartoon Arts. Please go to the website, sign up for the newsletter, donate. Anything helps. We're trying to get this museum built, do some exhibits, and I can't give away too much information, but for those people that are manga fans, we already have an agreement from somebody very prominent in manga that has agreed to come to Oregon and do an exhibit, and you would not be disappointed. So help us make this thing happen. Follow the news for the Kickstarters, for the pop-up events coming up. So, and spread the word.
Thank you. That is one of those things that's like, sucks for being I now realize I also say one of those things, and sitting up in here, those are my new 2 catchphrases for the season. I would say it's hard to be a person like you are, or like I am, that want to do so many things for the community, but do not have the time and necessary bandwidth to do them all. Yeah. Because sometimes people perceive it as being lazy or not being organized or whatever else, but we get asked by so many people to do so many things. Like I can imagine the things that people like contact you for, to be like, hey, do you want to be a part of, or can you help out with, or we need your assistance. And it's like, I don't even get done with my regular job, let alone this other stuff that I want to do. And then the community pressuring me to add more to my plate.
Right. And there's a balance between like what I want to do that like will feed my soul, as opposed to just doing things.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, it's definitely hard. So the first thing you said, you had a grind your beans.
Oh.
So this next segment is called Grind Your Beans. I'm going to throw it to my good friend Sean Wynn. Tell the people whether it's big, whether it's small, whether it's deep, whether it's shallow. Tell us what's irking you, what's bothering you, what's annoying you, what's grinding your beans.
All right. Let's do this. All right, grinding my beans. It just happened on Saturday. I gotta say, white male Lyft drivers. I got a lot of white friends. I got a white allies and all, but these white dudes that are Lyft drivers, I'd never get the good one. So this latest case was when I was being picked up from Fan Expo, and I get in the car, and it's this like hippie-esque dude. And I was like, yo, get me out of here, man, because I'm tired, I got to get away from here. He was like, yeah, man, I hear you. All these boys dressed up like girls. And I see that, and it just makes me go, ugh. And I'm like, okay, this is where we're at. And then, this is where it gets good. Mm-hmm. He proceeds into a tirade for the entire rest of the ride about acceptance, peace, and love.
Like, what do you mean? Like, in what kind of context?
About, like, how he just tries to love everybody and be peaceful and all that. But he clearly is homophobic.
Yeah.
He's got on his dashboard, like, all of these different artifact or sculptures or whatever from different religions, and about how he's just trying to embody encompassing everything and learn these lessons in spirituality, and like you just have to practice patience and blah blah blah. But again, thrown in there in between there are all these comments about trans people and men cross-dressing, and I'm just like, you are full of shit.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's just the whole ride. And if not, another example of what happened to me once is that I'm renting a nice place right now. It's a nice house, right? The Lyft driver, another different white male, did not want to drop me off there because he thought he had the wrong address and didn't think that was my house.
Wow.
And I was like, just let me out of here. I'm gonna go home. You may leave now.
Yikes.
So. And that's what's been the experience so far. Other people I haven't had, but like these white dudes always say something or do something that's just weird. And I'm just like, I want to trust the Lyft system, but I'm tired of this happening.
Oh yeah. And it's weird because how they do the Lyft system, at least in my experience with it, I'll have a bad ride and the driver before it gets to whatever connecting, before they're dropped off and I get to like send in my review, they've already said that I did something within the ride to like combat like whatever negative complaint that I'm going to do. Like one trip, I was in New York and I was basically, and I called Jesus like immediately after this, was driving from the airport to Brooklyn Bowl and they just, right before they get to Brooklyn, like crossing the bridge, they were just like, your ride's ended here. And I was just like,
excuse me?
No, my ride hasn't. And I was like, actually, I watched him take a loop around a certain sector and he thought that I was asleep. And I just kind of watched for a second. And I was like, why is he doing this loop? Like, is he trying to run up the meter? Like, I'm just going to complain afterwards. And then I said something to him. I was like, hey, man, is everything good? And he's like, oh, there's like something wrong, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, all right, well, you can just take this exit. Like, I said I'm like, I'm from here. I'm not from there, but I've been there enough that I know the route to take because I always go. And he was just like, no, you don't understand. And then I watched him go on to the thing and cancel my ride. Like he thought I was asleep because I said it, went back to laying on my side. And then I watched him cancel my ride. And then he's like, I don't know what happened. And I was like, yo, dude, you're just trying not to go across the bridge because it was Halloween weekend and there's so much stuff going on here. You ended up taking a ride that went to the airport. You need to get back in the city. You canceled my ride halfway through and wouldn't take me the rest of the way. And I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? Why don't you just restart up the ride? Or you can add it as an added stop on the ride. And he's just like, yeah, you just need to get out. Huh. And I would say, like, as a man within that situation, especially a black man,
wow,
I was just like, I can either get irate, get mad, get aggressive.
Right.
I'm gonna be looked at a certain way.
Yep.
Or I'm like, if I call the police and try to deal within this damn near Karen within dealing within this situation, what am I supposed to do? What is the appropriate way to handle the situation? And I was like, that's right. Yeah. I'm black in the back of a cab. This has happened since the dawn of time. There is no right way for me to handle this situation. And me and Jesus even dealt with this, and I'll do this really short. Jesus came with me to New York. We're in a cab, and I said to Jesus partway through the ride, he's not running the meter. And he was just like, and Jesus was like, word. And I was like, take a picture of his information in case anything happens. Yeah. And he's just like, all right, word. And I took a picture of the meter or whatever, showing that it wasn't going. We get to our destination, and he's like, oh, man, yo, I forgot to run the meter. Meanwhile, he's on the phone the whole entire time. He almost hits a car twice on the way there. There's all this weird stuff. And I literally say, yo, man, I need you to get off the phone and pay attention to the road as we're driving. Said this to him. So we get to our destination, and basically what ends up happening is he's like, yo, I didn't run the meter. It should be about this much amount of money. And I was like, no, I actually do this ride quite frequently. If it's this time of day, it should be this amount. And he's like, I'm not going to argue with you. And I'm like, yo, that's great. I'm going to call the cops. This is the rate that I just looked up. This is how much it should have cost from Lyft. Here it is. I'll pay this price or I ain't paying at all. And he's just like, and I'm like, don't think that you're going to add a tip and do X, Y, and Z to get to whatever price. Because I think he was trying to charge me like, what was it, like $80 or something like that. And it was like a $42 ride.
Yo.
And I'm like, yo, you trying to get me to pay 80 plus 20%? No. And I showed him the price.
Work on people?
Dude, yeah. Yeah. And the reason why I know is because they tried to do it to me beforehand. So yeah. Anyways, what's grinding my beans? I'm gonna make it real short. What's grinding my beans is people taking advantage of systems and then making it the worst for the rest of us. And what I mean by that, I'm gonna say is was Comic-Con within this. Yo, I understand you going to go get these signatures from these people sitting right there, and you're gonna spend $2,000 because their signatures are $40 each, and you got 40 pops, and you're gonna get them to sign all of them. I get that, and you're gonna go make your profit. But then when I want to finally meet a black celebrity or whoever it may be that represents our culture, whatever else, and I can't go do something because you've taken advantage of the system so many times and so much in the wrong way, that I then can't be like, yo, I just want to get an autograph pop because I want to, one, support you because I know the number $1 that makes a sequel or something happen comes from the toys from a property. Yeah. Not from the ticket sales. Ticket sales are great. Ticket sales are good. But if the toys and everything else don't sell, because I can't remember how many series that
canceled because
they canceled
the toy
because
line with,
the toy line doesn't move. So if people wonder why I'm a toy nerd and why I especially get anything that's black or any kind of other POC race, it's because I know that if they don't make money off of that, then it's not going to continue.
Oh, they won't even put them in the sequels.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, hey, yo, this wasn't marketable. No one's gonna like this kind of black character. Yeah. Like, I'm still shocked that Michonne isn't. Yo, dude, there's so many things that we didn't get into this episode. I didn't even get to go into how dope they did. Was it the Watchmen series?
Oh, whoo-wee.
Yeah. So, anyways, what's grinding my beans? Those people that ruin those things for us, because I want there to be more of our narratives told. I want to be able to speak to the people that do it and show them appreciation for what they did. But I understand that they feel like they're being taken advantage of because, hey, as people of color, we already been taken advantage of. We ain't going to sit up here and let some white guy make, another $4,000 off my pop figure because I signed it because it's super rare because, there's only 4 black characters in pops. Period.
Right. Oh, by the way, shout out to the new Quantum Leap that has an Asian male lead and a non-binary character.
All right. I'm not going to get into this, but just very quickly, one sentence answer. How do you feel about the Velma series? I haven't watched it yet.
I think it could be funny, but I'm not a fan of the people behind it.
Okay. That was perfect. Real quickly, I'm going to do our Sounds About White, and then we're going to get out of here. I knew this episode was going to go fast. I knew it was not going to be enough. But, it is what it is.
You know me, I'm a talker. So
It happens to the best of us.
I got to fix this one. I'm going to put some of the straps on this one.
Where is it? Dude. This is the thing I hate about how sometimes I organize stuff for the show, because then I need to find something quick and I can't. Come on. All right. Where is it?
See, that Sounds About White could have been at Trader Joe's.
You know what? Yeah, it could have been. In fact, where the heck did it go? All right. Well, I tried. It was right here, and now it's disappeared into the ether.
Did you check your butt?
Did you say check your butt?
Yep.
Where's also all right. where does it keep your saved items?
From what?
On Instagram?
I don't know how to get to it on browser.
Oh, I honestly don't know.
I know where it keeps it, but on browser, I don't know how to get to it.
Man, I'm mad. All right. Well, anyways, I think I at least have something funny I can show within this.
Just so you know, you're 10 over the 2 hour mark.
All right, fine. Let's just end it. All right. This has been another fantastic episode of Your Morning Drip. I ruined the end because I can't find my blackity black white making fun of stuff.
We got plenty of time for that.
Yeah, we'll do it next time. All right. This has been another great episode of Your Morning Drip. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on YouTube. We'll be on other platforms. We're also on Spotify and all that good stuff. You can find our episodes in case you just want to listen to the audio and don't want to listen to the video, whatever it may be. But once again, this has been Your Morning Drip. I'm your host, Ronald Rock. Our special guest in the building, Sean Wynn.
Thank you,
Sean,
everybody.
let people know where you're at and where they can find you.
All right, you can find me on my 4 Instagrams, Jonathan007 for my main one if you want to see cats, Mixed Master Makers if you want to see toys, Serious Black or Serious Reads if you want to see my comic book stuff, and Side Eye Forever or Moments of Side Eye if you want to see me talk crap about things. You can find me on strangesolutions.com if you need marketing help in a nerdy way. So,
word. Thank you again, Sean, for being on the show. It's been a fantastic episode. Thank you, Jesus. But we are done. We are out of here. Peace.
Peace.